Greetings, mathematicians. Let's make sure we get our date and our title in place, adding and subtracting decimals. I'm on 17L and 17R. Take a moment to write this in. You can pause or come with me. All right, I've got some of this already framed out. Most importantly, let's look to our page numbers. All right, and let's make sure we get the date in. For me, it's going to be, I think, the 5th of October, so 10/5/2020. Unit 2, Lesson 4, adding and subtracting decimals. This is an odd title because we're only going to be doing a little bit of that. Our objective, I will add and subtract decimals to the hundredths. And something we're also going to do, we'll also convert metric units of length. All right, so we've got two objectives here. Let's read the first. I will add and subtract decimals to the hundredths. I will also convert metric units of length. And our conversion today is times 10 / divide by 10. Our vocabulary. Prior to this video, I'm actually going to have you watch a little bit of Brain Pop, so this should connect a little bit better. We need metric lengths. And when we come up with a metric length, it's going to be a prefix plus the word meter. Say it with me, meter. This is the standard amount of measure for a metric measurement system. And the prefix will be kilometer, hectometer, decameter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. And sometimes I confuse that last one. Make sure we've got mm, millimeter. All right. And if you end up watching that Brain Pop video, you will know King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And let's take a look at a metric conversion. So an example would be if I have 33 meters. This is my standard unit. Now I can convert meters to kilometers using the decimal place value system. So if I have 33, my decimal resides behind the last digit. So it's 33.0. If I want this to be represented as kilometers, I'm going to go ahead and move it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 spaces. So 3 is the magic number. I will now say 1, 2, put it a 0, 3, put in my decimal, put in my leading 0. So 33 meters equals 0.333 kilometers. So I'm going to go the direction of the prefix I want. So if I want to go to kilometer, I'm going 3 spaces left. Equally so, 33 meters equals how many millimeters? I'm going to go the other direction for that. Again, it's 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take my 33.0, I'm going to move in my decimal 1, 2, 3 spaces. So I could say 33,000 millimeters is equal to 33 meters. So it's all about direction and decimal movement. So we can ask ourselves that question. What direction? How many decimal spaces? So these are the two questions that will help us convert these metric units. Hopefully between these notes and Tim and Moby, you are set. And that is our second objective. So we can actually go ahead and put a check on that second one. All right, I'm moving on. Now to the good stuff, adding and subtracting decimals. We're going to talk about the standard algorithm. This is probably how you're mostly going to use it. And in very odd Mr. McNeil fashion, I'm going to have you sing. So I have a song for you. It's all about decimals. And here are the lyrics. Line up the decimal to add and subtract. Not a very good song. Let's try it again. Line up the decimals to add and subtract. Line up the decimals to add and subtract. All right, now that I've got that stuck in your head, let's come up with a sample problem. Number one problem students are going to have they're just going to put the 9 and the 6 together. Doesn't work that way. We need to focus on the decimal. It's the most important thing when we have problems like this. So think back to your song lyrics. Line up the decimal to add and subtract. Doesn't matter which one is on top. I'm going to bring in my decimal. I'm going to bring it over. Make sure my numbers are aligned. All right. Notice they don't match, but that's okay. As long as the decimals are in the right spot, everything else is in the right spot. I don't have anything behind my 9, so I'm just going to put this 0 in as a placeholder. It's not super necessary, but it's going to make things a little easier for me. Now I have lined up the decimals. I can add or subtract. In this case, I'm adding. You've done new groups above and below in 4th grade, so really it's up to you. I'm going to use new groups below. 0 plus 6 is 6. 9 plus nothing is 9. And I don't have to actually bring anything over. Line up those decimals. 0 plus 0 is 0. I've arrived at my answer, 96 hundredths. Or if you like to think about everything like Mr. McNeil does, we've got 96 cents. All right, let's do another. Let's go subtract this time. 5 minus 1 5/10. All right, notice whole number's missing a decimal. When we're missing a decimal in a whole number, it's just going to go right next to it. We could throw on that 0 to make ourselves feel better about it. So which one is the greater, 5 or 1.5? All right, good. Let's put it over on top. 5 and 0/10 minus 1 and 5/10. Here's a problem. 5, can I take 5 from 0? I cannot. So I'm going to have to borrow. 5 becomes a 4. 0 becomes a what? 10. 10 minus 5, 5. 4 minus 1, 3. Don't forget about your decimal. So our answer, 3 and 5/10. Or, hot tip, always make it about money. Put another 0 on the end. Put a decimal in there. Now this number means something. It's $3.50. It's 3 and 5, or 3 and half of whatever we're dealing with. Let's do another. 0 and 56 hundredths. 91 hundredths. So I actually have matching place values. I'm not going to get confused. I need to line up my decimals. And in this case, I'll add. Let's add. 1 plus 6 is 7. 5 plus 9, 14. I'm going to put my new group below. 0, 0, 1 gets me 1. Bring my decimal. So 56 cents plus 91 cents gets me $1.47. I don't know why I always go to money. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, room 19, you are going to see some digital homework that we'll do during class today. So it's going to be Think Central, Unit 2, Lesson 4, PMT Homework. Such a long title. This is what you're going to look at. You will do a little bit of this. You're probably going to do a lot more of this converting. So before you do this, make sure to watch Brain Pop. All right, it'll make way more sense. All right, folks,